Hi, in this lesson, we'll see the font icons. So, what's the font icons? It's a library of icons that you can use and add to your design using simple text. So, we don't need to add image. So, for example, I suggest that you use the Ionic icons. It's offered by the Ionic framework. So, this is the library of icons. You can simply download the library and you install the font just like you install Arial or Helvetica or Roboto. And using this link right here, you can copy the icon, selectable one. Just you select this one, copy it, and you go back to your design. For example, I will add this icon. I will add the text,
I pasted this icon,
but I don't see anything. I just look for my font. I just installed. It's Ionic, and there we are. It's the text. So that's it. This is what we call font icon.
In this lesson we try to make this cover, so based on this example. So first let's check the size of the Facebook cover, and we create a new file, an empty one. We precise the size, then we confirm. So now we have the empty one. So we check this first one. The first thing is to create the footer, the blue footer. So let's pick the blue color. And check the size, especially the height of the blue background. Then we create blue rectangle. So we pick the rectangle shape and we drag and we create the blue one. Now we'll have to adjust the size. Okay, we move it a little bit. Perfect. Next, we will create this blue background in the center of our cover. So we create a new layer. We create this blue shape. This is the first one. Then we create the second one. We pick the color. We make a copy of the first one. We press Alt to copy this rectangle and we drag to the top. Now we'll change the color, and that's it. Now we will adjust the size. I will rename the layers. So the one in the bottom, I named it blue button, and on the top, the one on the top, I named it blue top, and the first one was the footer. Next, I will create these circles where I will add my logo. So I'm using the ruler to select the size. So now I know the size of my circles, and based on that I will create the circles on my new file. So I press Shift and I drag the mouse to create a circle. I need 3 circles, so this is the first one. The first one is the one on the background, and it's blue. Now I have to pick the color of the second circle. And I draw the circle. I want to align it with the blue in the center of the blue circle, so I press Ctrl on the layer and I use the alignment tool on the top bar, and that's it. I will add stroke in blue. So this is the second circle. And we have to make a third one. Okay. So I create a folder. I will create a folder to regroup all circles and rectangles. So now I have all circles in a separated folder, and the same for rectangles. I copied the dark circle to create the third one. It should be smaller. So I resized it. Now I will center it. That's fine. It looks similar. So just I'm doing few adjustments to make it similar to the example. There is different ways to do that. I'm using the simple one. So next thing, I create a folder to add the text and the titles. So the first text is "You ask." I adjust the size and the color and the font. So the font, I change it. Okay, so we'll adjust the text. So next, I copy this text to create the second one. I duplicate it. I rename it. We answer. Okay. Now I will change the text. I type "We answer." So I center it. Okay. It seems that the text is bigger than the background, so I will increase the size of the background of my title. Now I will add the third title. I choose its color. So tutorials, training, tips and tricks. That's it. I make it uppercase, make it bold. So now I will drag this image of Einstein. I will resizing and make it behind the photo, just like this example. So I will change the position of this layer. That's it. Just increase the size. Okay. Now I will add the text of the photo. So I just rename this photo for text. I add the text. I precise the limit. So then I type straight to the point. I increase the size and I change the color. Make it bold. And the color is white. So I resize it. Okay. So I add the stroke. Okay. Now I will add my logo. I will select it from the example. Oops. I adjust the position and size. Now I will add the arrows to the footer. I press shift and I drag. Then I change the color to the white. I duplicate it. Now I will export it, and as you can see, we created our cover. It's similar to the example we just saw. Thank you for watching. Hi, in this lesson we will make a new cover, a new Facebook cover. So we'll try to make a cover like this one. So we will learn a few things. So we start with the pen tool and we draw from the edge to the right and the bottom. Now we have this blue shape. We press Alt and we move that point. Okay. In fact, we need it in another color, so we need to change the color. We pick the color of the left side, the right side, and we use the style, the gradient overlay. We change the color to be the one we selected. We pick that color. Okay. press OK again. Now we pick the color in the middle, because we have 3 colors in our gradient. So in the middle we change that value, we pick that color again. Okay, now we have 3 colors in our gradient. What we will do now is to make that button, we choose the rounded rectangle tool, we change its color, just like the other one. We pick the color and we apply it on our rectangle. Okay, now we need to change the radius. We change the value and it will change in all corners. It needs more changes, so increase the value. Okay, we make it bigger. Let's try this. Fine. Okay, we add the new layer, and now we will add the text of the bottom. We type it and we change the color again to the white, or let's say this dark color. We make it bigger and we change the font. So now we made our text. We center it in our bottom. We adjust the size. Almost done. Okay, now we create a new layer and we will make shape like an arrow. It should be in that color. We change the orientation with the free transform and we rotate it. Okay, we see the example, so it's similar. Now we'll add the title, new layer, and we write our title. Now, as we did the last time, we change the size, we make it light, we need to change the color. Still we need to change the color. Okay, we make it white. So as we did in the last video, I'm renaming the layer so I can work easily. So we name this one too. And the background. Okay. We regroup these layers in a new folder and we name it. Now we go back to the example. We need to add the contact information. So we create a new folder, we name it, and there we will add all the informations of the company or the page, the website, the address. So we write right here. We just copy what we saw in the other example. It should be in white color. And we do the second one. We duplicate it. We can press Ctrl G to duplicate any layer. And the third one, duplicated by the Ctrl G, and we change the text. We need to make sure that all texts are aligned, so we use the ruler and we add this guide, so we make sure that they are on the same line. And after that we will add the icons, but first I will add the airplane image that I will add in the background. I don't have the same airplane image, so I will use this one. I drag it in my project. It should be in the background. Then I will resize it. I will make it bigger. Okay. And as you can see in this example, I need to add this floating shapes in different colors. So I use the pen tool and I draw over this shapes. Okay. I change the color to be similar to the example. Then I make other ones. So you can just use the pen tool and you create this shapes. Okay. After finishing this step, we will drag all the shapes to our folder, to our Photoshop file, and change the opacity. So it's simple work. Okay, this one, they are the red ones. I drag them here. I make them bigger. Okay, good. I do that for all layers. We make different opacity values. Okay, and this one. Okay, and now I will create the other shapes. I use the pen tool. I will draw them and change the color and the opacity. You can make all of this randomly. You don't have to make the same thing as the example. The main thing is to have that feeling of floating objects in the area behind the airplane. Okay. Okay, as we did for the last time, we change the color. I think our cover will be even better than the example. Okay. It takes some time but if you want to make a good cover, sometimes you need to work hardly and you to take your time. These are the last shapes. Okay, and we change the color and the opacity. Okay, almost done. I'm just trying to find the best color that match the background. I think our design is even better. So now we will add the icons. If you watched the lesson of the Ionic icons, how to add font icon, you will know how to use this library. You just need to install the Ionic icons library. It's a font icon library and it's a font. When you install it, it will allow you to use some fonts as icons. So you add the icons as a text, a normal text, but it shows you, instead of an image, it shows you an icon. So we type here and we paste the code of the icon that we found on the web page. Then we change the font to Ionic icon, and now we have our icon. We change the color, we make it aligned with the address, and as you can see, you have now the icon. We will make other icons for each line. So we go back to the page, we look for this icon, we copy, we duplicate the icon, and we replace it with our icon, and we do the same thing for the third one. It should be of the website. It's not web. Okay, this one looks good. We copy it. No. We go back to Photoshop and I replace it with the chosen icon. We make sure that everything is aligned. They are in the same line. Okay. So I think for this cover we finished. We have our cover. So the last thing to do is to export this cover and to use it in your web page. Thank you for watching. In this lesson, we will make this cover. This is a cover for summit or event. So let's start making this one. So the first thing is to create an empty document, and this is the size. So it should be in pixels. Okay. Now we will make this background. We will add this collections of photo, and we add transparent blue background. So let's start making this one. You can download this photo from the lesson. I opened it in Photoshop, so I will simply drag it in our document. Now I will create this blue effect or create blue rectangle. I put it in the bottom. Then I will change the opacity of this photo. So let's say 50. Okay. Now we have our blue background. So the next step is to create this title and the subtitle. We can even adjust the background image. We can resize it. I press Ctrl T. I press Ctrl and minus in the keyboard. I press Shift and I drag. Okay. I press Ctrl and plus, zoom in. Now I will add the title. So we will use open sans font in uppercase. So to to add a text layer, we need to press T in the keyboard. Now you make a selection. Now you have an area when you can add your text. So we will add the first title. So this is the first one. Now we will add the second title. I will resize it. So now we will add the background of the title. It should be like this one. So I pick the color with this color picker, the eyedropper tool. I click here, or you can press I in the keyboard. You click. The selected color will be displayed here. It's this one. So I go back and I create a blue rectangle just like this one. And I select the color. Okay. Now I have to add the second background with a different color. So I press I again. I click. And this is the selected color. I go back to my document, and with the pen tool I will draw this shape. So you press P in the keyboard. After adding a new layer, click right here, for example, and here, and here, and here, and you click here again. So it's not perfect. We need to make some adjustment. You zoom in with pressing Ctrl and plus in the keyboard. You press Ctrl and you drag the mouse on top of this point, so you can adjust the position of this point right here. So you need to make a double click the same thing here, and you press enter to confirm. So this is our title with all backgrounds in two different blue colors. So now we will add the subtitle, which is change your life. I press D and I click change your life. Now I will make some changes on the font and the size of the subtitle. So now let's change the font. You click on this layer, you can make a double click right here, and you go to this list. So I type hand because I'm looking for you see the handwriting. I just type this one, and it's not in uppercase. So I will write it again. Change your life, and I make it smaller. And now press Ctrl and plus, and this is our cover.